things like this.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
So I just wanted to, you might check my levels too, Bob. I don't know where we are. So I just want to show you a couple, where to go look for those things, right? I mean, it's not going to be click by click, but at least that way, it's really more simple than probably how I explained it, right? It's not all that complicated. It's pretty user friendly. We already went through this on placing the ad. So I've already gone to, here and then manage ads, right? Once you get there, the Power Editor thing is right here. You can't see it. Right there, right? So once you get to the ad manager, regardless of what side you're on, like if you've done it or not, right there is like the Power Editor link. And there are a lot of tools in here that they provide now that they, some of them are relatively new, but there's a conversion tracker where you can track how many people actually convert on the website. You can use Google Analytics for that too, but it works exactly the same way. It just gives you a little snippet of code that you put in the site and it tracks all of it, right? But anyway, the point is you just click this Power Editor, and whether it works or not, I'm still good. I still have it over here. And it's basically just gives you a little application. Exactly, the Facebook Ad Manager. Yep, we're just just kind of recapping that because we didn't get a chance to look at the back end, right? So once you're in the back end, you just, over here, there's a little download link. And it's just going to download that right into your Ad Manager. And then you'll see at the top here it says Create Audience. This is that custom audience thing we were talking about. So here's where you can upload a list of email addresses, user IDs. Those are Facebook user IDs. We were talking about that earlier. Or phone numbers. App user ID, I don't know if a lot of consumers use apps much, or I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But and I haven't really messed with that very much. But you just use a spreadsheet, a CSV file, a spreadsheet, and you can just click there and upload it. And once you hit create, it'll then tell you how many match up, right? So like here, I've got 26 million, I guess. Here is like 19,500 matched up, 2,900 matched up there, that sort of thing. So again, what it's doing is it's taking the data that you're giving it, finding a Facebook profile that has that data in it, and it's putting them in your list. So you can now buy ads for them. It's pretty interesting, especially when you consider if you've got people who have been in the school for a birthday party or whatever the case is, you upload the list, you can buy ads directly for them for that specific purpose, So you get the idea there. And then the next question was about these tabs and the squeeze pages. So basically, from these ads, we had the chart up earlier. From the ads, you can drive traffic wherever you want, right? You can drive it to a web page, a post, whatever, right? You can put whatever URL in there you want to. So if you're driving it from a paid ad, you can land them straight on whatever tab you want if you wanted to land them on a tab, right? And the code I gave everybody basically lets you build this. So it looks a little different right now because we're in edit mode, but this is basically the FanGate version. So this is kind of like a squeeze page for Facebook. So it forces them to click like before they can get past this page, right? So you'd put in here, like click like to get access to some free widget that you want to give them a video or whatever, right? And in this particular implementation, you'll see how it's orchestrated. It's very simple and very linear. They hit this page, they can't get past it. In the copy down here where it says your message here, we'd tell them what to do, right? Your 3 video series is waiting for you here. Click like, and we'll give it to you, whatever, something like that. And then as soon as they do click like, it'll unlock. Well, and I don't think I did that part. It'll unlock that and put them past that page onto whatever page you want. So in this case, this is just a little video. It's just a sample, but it's just a little video testimonial with my opt-in form and body copy, right? So it might even.
That's all your text in there.
Yeah, whatever text you want. You can put whatever you want in there, and you can put whatever form you want here. This is all the stuff that I built for you is just a template. You just take the code, put it in there, and you can customize however you want. It's just designed to be a framework that you can then edit ad libitum, right? I will ask you one favor, if you wouldn't mind. On all the templates, you'll notice on the footer, I put proud member of the association, member of good standing, National Association of Professional Marketers. If you leave that link live for me, it helps us, gives us a backlink, right? Doesn't affect anything, but if you leave it there for me, great. If not, delete it, right? But that's it. I mean, that's all there is, right? Any thoughts or questions about that? Comments in specific?
There's a typo in member.
See, when you have a guy from Croatia do this stuff for you, Slovakia, I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
On the form, is it a self-contained emailer, or do you have to link it to an outside?
This one's coming from Aweber. Okay. This one is, yeah. But I gave everybody, in the script, I gave you, there's a little description, and whatever form, you can put whatever form you want in there. So you can use Aweber, Infusionsoft, or iContact, or whatever. Whatever, if they give you an iframe code, you're fine. Or you can use a plain HTML, whichever, whichever. But, the real moral is basically just two things. Just think of the linear nature of the chart we had earlier, right? Add, squeeze, sell, right? And it just so happens in this iteration, the fan gate portion of it is an intermediate step. You don't have to use it. You can turn that off, right? It's an intermediate step. It's useful. But the video that I was bribing them with is the squeeze page video, right? So it doesn't interrupt the flow at all. Does that make sense? So like whatever you want to call the video, 362 case studies of, parents just like you that, tried our program or something like that, whatever it is. That's the bribe. So it's just really seamless. And I think the last thing was we talked about Hootsuite a little bit, but this is kind of just what the dashboard looks like. And again, basically all it is an aggregator kind of. Each of these streams, I don't really have this set up very robustly. It's a different account, but you can add, let me see, it should give it to me here. You can add a stream from, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, Foursquare, WordPress, hosted or self-hosted stuff, Mixi, and other apps that Hootsuite deals with. So basically, that's for you to see stuff, right? So from this dashboard, you can see all your Twitter update, all the updates from all the different networks. I don't particularly find that all that valuable because I'm not going to sit there for 10 hours a day and interact, right? But what is really useful is this little airplane, is you can schedule your messages, right? So you can set up, again, like I said earlier, like a sequence of messages that are delivered on a predetermined schedule. Click go, it runs in the background. You don't have to deal with it until next week or next month or next year, right? Again, it's not very interactive, but I'm not going to sit there for 6 hours a day. You know what I mean? Does it all make sense? It's real simple. It's free. It's open source. There is a paid version, and it has a few more features, but
it's I think the free one's limited to six or so.
Yeah.
And then what's nice with the paid one is you get collaborators and things.
Exactly. Yeah. Multi-user. Yeah. It's real cheap. Yeah. If you have an outsourcer like in India or something, or the Philippines that are doing all the posts and stuff for you, it's really useful because then they can log in and not log into your stuff or whatever. But yeah, it's a cool application, right? Cool little tool. Good. Any thoughts on that at all? So the homework is go home and play with that. Tonight, go play with that targeted audiences thing. On the ad buyer, see what is attractive to you. Type in your location too, like your city name, and you'll be surprised at how many groups you find. I don't know, Denver Quilters Club or whatever. I mean, there's a million little niche groups that are all over the place, and you're shocked at how many you find in there when you start being creative. And that list we did up here, I think, is a pretty good list. I think it's a pretty good list. Yeah, I think there's some pretty interesting things in there. Good. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know, and I'll fix the misspelling hopefully and put all that code back up there and make fun of Merrick a little bit about misspelling member. It's all right. He did a lot of them all at once, so who knows? Good. We're good. We're good, sir. Okay.
Talk about video marketing a little bit. We spent a tad bit of time on YouTube in the context of search engine optimization, but expand from that a little bit. Your perspective.
Well, I'm tomorrow we'll go over hopefully. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Tomorrow I'll go over with everybody kind of like I guess on video there's probably two things. There's attracting a lead and then converting a lead, right? And then on the attracting a lead part, Google owns the world, including YouTube, since the acquisition of YouTube, they've given YouTube videos a lot of preference in search engine optimization, right? So like if you have a website that's search engine optimized relatively well and a YouTube video that's optimized relatively well, you have a good chance of getting them both pretty high, the two of them higher than you would each separately. You know what I'm saying? Because they give preferential treatment to YouTube. And pretty dramatic preferential treatment to YouTube, frankly.
Yes.
But the question is, in a 3 to 5 mile radius, how many parents of 9-year-olds are on YouTube fishing around for martial arts videos? You know, the answer is probably not many, right? So I think it's a very, very useful thing for search engine optimization organically. So you want to have like, 2 or 3 videos a week, that your guy can put up for you, your whoever. And that's going to be a huge help when it comes from somebody searching on Google for martial arts in your area, right? Because if you look at organic search results now, you have pay-per-click at the top, and then you have local, and then maybe some organic mixed in with video. Usually 2 or 3 organic and then 2 or 3 video. So you could likely get 1 or 2 or 3 of those video spots along with 1 or 2 of those first 3. You know what I mean? So it helps you just get more positioning on the first page. So really, the bullet point list, I think, is the title of the video is extremely important, right? I even optimize the file name. I understand it may or may not make a difference, but why not do it anyway, right? So the name of the file that you upload might as well be Martial Arts Lessons in Denver, Martial Arts Lessons for Children in Denver, something like that, right? Instead of, ZYM104.00002.mp4. I mean, what's that, right? So I'd optimize the name, the title of the name of the file, and then the title you give it should be keyword dense as well. City name, area name, martial arts, and/or whatever term you're optimizing for, right? In the name, and then in the description, there's 2 schools of thought, but in the description of the video, I always put the link either first, like the link over to freakarate.com, either first, or free lessons dash, or free martial arts lessons dash, and then the link. Either way, play with it. When you look at the video as a user looks at it, you want the link to be visible instead of hidden in the description. You know what I'm saying? So that way they don't have to expand the description to click on your link. It's right there in front, And YouTube's fine with it.
Do the same thing all the time with it start?
Change it. No. You want to change your description, but yeah. Some of the things that big optimizers have to be afraid of, for us, I mean, you're not going to have 9,000 videos up there all with the same 16 words in them. You might have 4, no big deal. But yeah, no problems. But I would do like free lessons dash and then the link, and then maybe free program dash and a link, or you can mix it up. It's no big deal. But in a lot of cases, what I'll do is I'll have one stock description, and we just search and replace the city name, and then search and replace a verb here and there. Learn, study, master. You know what I mean? It's real easy to, and they're fine with it. They don't care. They want as much video content as possible up there. I think those are the big things. Now, when it comes from lead to lead conversion, it's enormously useful because video is the most consumed media online right now, period. Especially as broadband connections are more and more common. Broadband connections are basically everywhere, including mobile. A lot of the stuff we'll talk about tomorrow in the lead conversion funnel is like a mixture of long form text email, some light HTML email, short form text email with links to videos, short form text email with links to pages. You know what I mean? A permutation of all that stuff. And I'll walk you through our 70 to 75 day cycle tomorrow. There's 60 something steps, I think, in our 75 day lead conversion funnel. And again, most of them are long form text email, a short form text email with a link over to a video embedded into an HTML email. A lot of video use because people just love to watch video online.
A text link in the text that you send them.
Yeah,
right?
Well, in text messages, that's a whole other animal. But
so somebody their Android phone or the Windows phone or their Apple phone, and they click that, and it takes them to YouTube and it plays the video, or takes them to your landing page.
Yeah. I like to take them back to the blog page where someone can control. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's a worthy activity to just put it in your marketing process. To every week put up a couple of videos. Right? It's just easy. It's not that hard. Everybody can do it from their mobile phone now. You can have 3 of them up there from just today of what we're doing today, and they're up already. It is a little bit more complicated when you go back and optimize them and stuff. But if you kind of know what the purpose is, and you just put it up that way, it's not a big deal. Their video manager is pretty good at dealing with that stuff now too. But there's a lot of other stuff happening on YouTube that's useful, but is requires enough labor that I don't think it's that valuable yet. You know, like you can annotate the videos now, and you can put text on them and things like that, and that is useful. You can make hotspots that are links. To be honest, I'm only using YouTube really for two purposes, and one is just to host the video. You know, just to keep the video up there,
Free
so it's
place
not
to put
sitting
it.
on my hard drive. You know, sitting on server somewhere. Because almost I'm never gonna drive traffic to YouTube. I'm always gonna drive it to my site, my blog that happens to have a YouTube link on it. You know, has a YouTube thing on it. So I really don't care about a lot of that stuff. So I don't have to like link them from the video to freakerwriter.com because like they're already there. You know what I mean? That's why I drove them there. So, but I do think those things in macro are useful, but they take so much labor. It's just not time.
Yeah. But what we were talking about before is that the search engine optimization. So now you've got a whole bunch of different videos, and you've got the keywords maximized, and Google will prioritize it.
And Google is now, and there's some debate about this, but Google is transcribing all your videos whether you want them to or not. So, you know, the captions feature, right? So the captions feature is basically a transcription with a time code. So automatically Google is using its voice recognition, its speech recognition algorithms. Yeah, in the audio stream, and it's creating the captions, but now it's also indexing the captions. So if the speakers in the video are saying the words martial arts in your area, you know, whatever your keyword terms are, frequently, that's useful. You know, they're indexing all that stuff now.
Yeah, and so you can run around and get testimonials, but say, you know, my child who goes to Leawood Elementary in Westminster, you know, Colorado, you have them say that, right? And then it then gets that keywords in there.
I don't think anybody knows how much weight they're giving it, but we do know they're indexing.
Yeah.
And we know from a bunch of different reasons. One of the reasons we know that they're indexing it is because we know that they're using it to ban some videos. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it's going to do to affect anything, but you know, you get the idea. But yeah, I think it's two things. It's for traffic generation and lead conversion. Yeah. I think lead conversion is the biggest application.
But there's a lot of that stuff that if they're not doing it now, they're going to. So you plan ahead for it,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So
you ain't gaming their system.
Yeah.
So just do what they want you to do. They want you to drive traffic. They want people to find what they want to find. Just optimize. They want you to optimize. You know. Yeah.
The other thing about YouTube, and there's a bunch of other video sharing sites, but there's so much stuff you can do now, and it goes back to the distance learning, and you were talking about Skype and one thing or another. But you know, if you're promoting an event, do a little pitch for the event. If nothing else, you talking to the camera and upload it and then text it to all the students and have them go watch the pitch for the event. Or if if you're trying to promote birthday parties, do a little video clip of one of the birthday parties and how much fun it is and one thing or another. It's one thing you tell mom, we do a birthday party. It's something else. You're dressed up like a ninja and you're cutting the cake with a samurai sword. I mean, whatever. But, do little video clips of that, and then you can text it to the students. You can email it to the students and one thing or another, and then all that stuff starts to work together. Does that make sense? So
and don't allow yourself to get like bogged down in editing and stuff. Although some snip here and there is pretty easy to do even on a mobile device. But just go to Fiverr. I mean, seriously, like there are dudes that'll video edit pretty much anything you want for $5. And they can do some cool stuff. I mean, so it's not worth stressing out over.
Mm-hmm. Is that making sense? But always be thinking about what's the creative use I can do of this. If I have some special lesson of the week that I want to do, just get in the habit of videotaping every little lesson of the week, put it up on YouTube. Then you can send the link to the students, text it to the students. You missed class this week. Here's what we were talking about in class as a separate lesson. But now it's indexed up there as one more search engine searchable thing that you have going on. Just get used to using all those little tools. Just don't get into a lot of brain damage over it, right? Is make it simple, neat, easy. And again, I mean, with your iPhone or your Android, you go like this, you punch it, you say upload, and then even ask you for the keywords when you're uploading it on the phone app. It's just that brain dead easy. Yeah, but think of all the different things you could do. One of the things, I was re-listening to Dan's presentation. we were at in Golden Hotel.
Oh, yeah?
But
Yeah.
one of his ideas then was take the picture of all the little kids in the belt graduation, go make 15 postcards and give them each 15 postcards of them being awarded their belt so they can mail it to all of their friends. I mean, that was a great idea right then and there. But you also have then do the little video clip of each of the kids on the individual testing, upload it, tag their name, send the link over to mom, and now she sends it out to everybody, post it on Facebook, take the picture of them on the test, put it on Facebook, tag them on Facebook, send mom the link, right? So there's all these different iterations of these ideas, but all of that type of stuff is just putting your referrals on steroids, right? And you can tell the parents, put your little lesson of the week up, on YouTube, text out the parents, you say, by the way, any of your friends who this would be useful for, forward it on to them, right? And of course you're always going to have your link back to your website, at least on the YouTube page, or do the landing page thing and have them come there either way. But you want to be thinking about, again, the whole idea of the Parthenon is, take any one of these ideas in a vacuum, and how much of an impact does it have? Not much. But you do 100 of those things, and how much of an impact does it start happening, right? So, all the moms are putting a little video of the kid getting his belt and doing the thing, and then they've got the little video on Facebook of the birthday party, and then you've got the thing you texted to all the students to help promote an event, then you have the thing you text to the student as a little video link for what a birthday party looks like or a pizza party looks like. By the time you get it all together, now it has a big impact, right? Because you're now in their, Pinterest or whatever, and you're in their Facebook, and they're texting and forwarding things and forwarding the video, and even if it's only forwarding to the grandparent, and the aunt and uncle, sooner or later you start to have an impact with just being deeper in everybody's mind, right? Any other questions on any of that stuff before we move on?
Well, I'd mentioned it earlier, and totally want to get your opinion on Vine. And what you think about
Vine?
Yeah, this kind of applications. I know it's 15-second stints, but something like the Ninja Suit cutting the cake or something like that. I don't know what kind of impact it would have, or I haven't played around too much with it.
Yeah, I haven't messed with it much. It's pretty young still.
Yeah. It's video Instagram pretty much.
Yeah, 15-second that loops, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know some of them catch on Facebook and go viral.
Mm-hmm.
I think its own platform itself, I'm not sure how much traffic there is there.
It's I know scrolling through the app, everything pretty much does a live upload.
Yeah.
And it does views and likes and shares.
Yeah.
Things like that. I haven't done. I don't know if the actual browser side of things is similar or what.
Yeah, and I haven't done much traffic analysis on it. My question would be, traffic analysis, geo-targeted traffic analysis. But,
That is going to be the next thing you can buy on Facebook is 15-second video spots.
yeah, they're going to, and they're trying to figure out how to make them autoplay when you load your page.
Uh-huh.
They're going to experiment with it and see how many people get pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
But
A lot.
Well,
Yeah.
Facebook has a weird tightrope that they have to watch, right? Because they've trained everybody that, advertising is bad, and you should be pissed off if you see ads and stuff like that, right? And that really works against you in the long run. They're starting to change a lot of that culture now. They're starting to, the promoted posts and all that stuff. They're sticking their toe in the water, and really, it's the only thing that's ever made them any money is what they're doing now. But the direct answer is I don't know. But
I think their ad revenue has doubled in the last 6 months.
Last 4 months. This power editor thing.
And they finally figured out mobile, because they were screwed on that.
Well, and Google Plus isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Other than what it's doing on search. So.
Right.
But the answer is I don't know. But I know that if they have an ad platform, I'll test it. We'll put stuff up there, but I don't know that they have an ad platform yet. And I've done a lot on LinkedIn too, and for the consumer market on LinkedIn, I haven't had much success at all. I'll do I don't know, let's say $1,000 click budget or something like that, and it'll go a week, and I'll forget about it, and I'll go back and look, and I got 0 clicks. I'm like, what the? How can you possibly get 0 clicks? But it's just a whole different animal. So I don't know, but we'll keep looking at it. If I can buy clicks, I'll go there.
Yeah, but there is a completely different environment. It's it's kind of like a magazine ad versus, again, the yellow pages, right? So I go to Google and search, but now I'm scrolling through and I see a promoted post in Facebook. So, I don't buy Road and Track for the ads. You buy it for the articles or whatever the magazine is. And so there are environments where people are trained, and again, network TV, 30-second spots, right? So there are environments where people have been trained to try to ignore the advertising, for instance, in Facebook. And then there are environments where they invite the advertising. I'm searching in Google, and as long as it's relevant, I like it. So, just because you have a click-through ad in an environment like LinkedIn or Facebook or one thing or another does not make it comparable to Google, because they were looking for whatever it was they were looking for by searching keywords in that environment to begin with. And network TV, they're in big trouble, right? Because now they've even got Dish that automatically, codes the network, the primetime shows, and automatically skips the commercials. But if you want to see the format about what's going to happen, which is not going to be very useful for us, is just go look at, what's the singing show? American Idol. Go look at American Idol and Apprentice. They're probably the most cutting edge of the shows. The entire show on both cases is an advertisement for the product, right? In the case of American Idol, you got Coke logos going behind the singer, and they do the ad for the Ford Explorer as a little project, and then they have all the judges have the Coke, right? So you've got all that stuff that's embedded. Apprentice is much better, right? Because what do they do in Apprentice? We're going to go do the new marketing campaign for Outback Steakhouses this week. And so they've got both teams working on coming up with ad concepts and so forth for their, embedded advertiser, right? And there's a couple other shows like that too, Undercover Boss and some stuff like that. But Apprentice is about as blatant as you could possibly be. And it's a nice format because it's a business show anyway. Right, so unless they cut it badly, and one of the guys goes, "This is the junkiest piece of crap ever. How do I come up with?" And they always cut that out, right? But that's that's where major TV has to go. But then now all of a sudden it reverses the formula again, right? Because what TV has been trying to do is how to get to Eric in his living room and not get to you. Right? So they've been trying to psychographic and demographic micro-target, and they have gotten to the point where technology, where on the cable networks they could micro-target, but now what's happening is everybody is time shifting, scanning through the 30-second spots. So now the advertising has to be embedded in the programming. And so now the micro-targeting, just went out the door, right? So their whole model has been how to micro-target and how to let you do what you're doing in Google or Facebook and choose an audience and only go to that audience. And now all the other technology has blown that business model for them. Does that make sense? So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. We wanted to go back to Groupon, Living Social, and all that stuff a little bit more, and. We have two kids examples, kickboxing example. Anybody else have any example of doing something that's worked with Groupon or Living Social, or something that's bombed miserably?
Got one with Zosie. Have you ever heard of this?
Zosie, yeah.
And it seems to be the only one that works with private got.
Okay.
It's a more expensive piece. It's $125, but we get a fair return. You get a small amount, you get a fair return of 2 suits.
Walk everybody through it. How does it work? How did you get it set up, and what did you offer?
Carol set it up. But
okay.
The way it works is they get a limit. Oh, thank you. Fellow Americans, no. What they get is a limited class schedule. They get a month of classes. They get a T-shirt. They get a mouthful hand wraps.
Right.
They come in under a regular orientation schedule. They come in. They take a free class, etc. And then they put into it, for that they pay $124 for something that would normally cost them about $300.
Okay.
We get, I think, $75 out of it, so it's a good return.
Sure.
The good news for us is we can begin selling them immediately.
Yeah.
Obviously, you treat it like an intro.
Right.
So we've had a good response. We are closing about 50% of those that come in.
That's a good conversion rate.
It's very good conversion rate for anything on this.
Oh yeah.
So the conversion rate is good. it has been a limited market. We keep fighting with them how to promote it. They kind of think that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they kind of think putting a picture of a guy getting punched in the face and calling it a fight class is a good thing.
Oh, okay.
We try to explain to them, hey, put an attractive woman trying this out.
And they don't give you any control over that.
And they have of late begun to listen to us.
Okay.
But you're not going to build a school on it, but certainly are going to get one of the legs on the Parthenon.
Okay. Good. So there's 2 or 3 good pieces of feedback from you. That's great. 124 month of lessons, T-shirt, bag glove, something else.
Limited month of lessons.
Yeah.
Limited to certain days of the week, certain classes.
Right. And that's just to help you manage your flow.
Well, that and also, if they want to take the whole program, then they've got to get into the program. If they're in a limited number of classes,
Yeah, it's
for a reason that if they want to have unlimited use of the schedule,
right.
they've got to be earnest.
Yeah, it gives you an additional point of leverage to get them enrolled, and that's always useful. Toby, any other case studies on the couponing, Groupon, Living Social? We've touched upon it just a little bit.
Some successful were some of the rate. I mean, a few folks had decent results. Like, I don't know. I saw offers like 1 week of summer camp, 2 weeks of summer camp, things like that, and I was looking at them kind of side by side, and I saw there are 5 or 6 cases off the top of my head, and they were selling like 40, 50, 60 units, something like that. Still, fitness, kickboxing, and stuff outsells everything.
Right.
I mean, it's the deal. Those are the only case studies I can think of just in recent memory that I know decent numbers on. And it was like a week of summer camp for like $79 or $89 or $69 or something like that.
Right. Yeah, we had talked a couple of case studies that Paul had a couple of case studies. Carol's got one out in the field right now for the kids programs.
Living Social or Groupon?
The CROV thing is first I'd heard of an adult male deal working, and that's Zozo is Zozy. Okay, so
Can I correct you?
Go ahead.
Mr. Oliver? It's working primarily for females.
Oh, okay.
Occasionally a male, but primarily females.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Hence, the graphics issue is a real big deal now. Yeah, absolutely. Again, that the target demographic on any kind of couponing, but certainly the social network coupon is so dominant female, and the wishful thinking of the girlfriend, the fiance, the wife is going to buy CROV classes for her 28-year-old husband. That doesn't work, right? So it's whatever she immediately, tweaks that's interested, and it's easy to draw the hypothesis that with the right offer, and there's a couple of examples of that it's going to work for kids because it's going to be mom who's looking at it. But what you've got to be careful of with the kid is that the offer is, I'm not going to feel bad if this goes bad. And so I don't have to go talk to my husband, go talk to the kid. I'm just going to make a buying decision, and if we don't use it, we don't use it. You've got to understand that that's the buying dynamic, right? So as soon as there's go talk to anybody else, it doesn't happen because it's gone. Again, that's where, if something hits critical mass, you get a lot better results than like Facebook or Money Mailer used to be in the right target audience. But the only downside is there's not the piece of paper that gets put on the refrigerator with a magnet that gets talked about for a week or 2 or 3 weeks or a month or whatever. Back in the when we were doing thousands of dollars a month in print advertising, a lot of times it was a 6 or 8 week gestation. You do the ad in the newspaper, and they would tear it out, and they'd put it on the the magnet on the refrigerator, and they would talk about it over the dinner table, and then 4 weeks later they called you, right? I mean, it would taper. The ad would go out, and you'd have this kind of results, and then it would go like this. But it was 4 weeks later, and you're still getting calls, right? But in the digital world, it either blows up or goes completely away. And again, that's really no different than TV, right? TV, they see it, and respond, or they don't respond. And if you hit them again, then they go to Google or they go to the Yellow Pages in the past, and that, and you get to respond. But they're not thinking about it a month later, right? I mean, it's vapor. It's gone.
Did you say somebody had a traditional ad on Groupon?
Carol's got one now with about 45. Living Social, right? And Paul has had some good luck with Living Social. With traditional kids. One was like, $10.99. They're not back from dinner, but $10.99 or something like that. And he said they had 70 responses, like 70 responses, 35 enrollments from that. So he had 20% conversion, so 70-14. But still, not a bad deal. Theirs was $10.99, 5 weeks in a uniform. The $10.99, 5 weeks in a uniform, they got 20% conversion, 70 bought, and 14 enrolled. And so we figured they spent $1,200 in uniforms and ancillary stuff, and so they spent $1,200 to get 14, 15 enrollments. You can't beat that deal. Yeah.
I'll tell you anecdotally. I'll tell you something kind of interesting on the social couponing platforms is one of the most successful offers on these things, and I'm working on a way to tie all this together, but is these online how to use Microsoft Excel classes, right? A friend of mine's in that business, and he sold 44,000 of these things, right? It's a $100 program, right? And it's like basic learn how to use Excel. So there's a big market out there for people looking for like unitary education, right? And these social couponing platforms are an interesting outlet for that. And the only reason I think that there's opportunity there is because if people are going there, if people get used to this as being a thing, a platform to find things to go learn, maybe there's something we can do with that. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we can, I don't know what it is yet. I haven't thought through it all that much.
I don't know if you saw the offers Brian Tracy was running. He was doing
yeah. He did his leadership thing, and he did a bunch of other things. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely, yeah. See, so I think that there's opportunity there, right? And maybe it's you're selling them an info type product, a CD product, or something like that drives them into membership. Maybe it's a two-step sale. Maybe I just don't know, but I think it's an interesting dynamic.
Well, it goes back to the conversation about online learning we were talking about before. Next step may be we sell them the online introductory class, and the introductory class, of course, tells them they got to have a real instructor in a real classroom environment in order to really master this. And the next step is you bring them into the classroom environment. So as a lead marketing tool, the question was, is online learning going to replace the school? Is it a threat? My assumption is never, although we can be proven wrong. But my assumption is never, because they're always going to want a social environment, and you can look no further than Tybo and a lot of that other stuff to verify that. But there may well be you go instigate an online learning course that part of the thing they learn in the online learning course, if they ever actually do it, is in order to get past these 3 lessons, it's now time for a real instructor. So you got to go come into the school and go from there. That's something that George Chung. I talked to him a little bit about that. He's got
that Crunchyroll thing.
Yeah,
I did a class on Udemy.com, and I don't know. I got maybe 600 something students in a couple of weeks, but it was just a little online. It was just like a click here, click there type thing, But there's a bunch of platforms. There's Skillshare.com. There's a bunch of them. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, because I don't really have a model. But I think there's enough traffic out there and enough people are buying these things, especially on social couponing platforms, that there could be some opportunity there. You know what I mean? So, if you want to go test it. But I think there's some opportunity there.
Well, and even if it doesn't pan out as a front-end marketing funnel, which I think it probably will, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. But the other thing is just, for nothing else, down and dirty, is do little video clips of all the things you're trying to get people excited about, and do little video clips of all the little lessons. And, even if you're teaching them a form or teaching them a move, do the little, 90-second video clip of the thing and say, by the way, on the way home, I'm gonna text you guys all the video link of what we did today, so you can practice it on your own between now and next time, and get used to just integrating that. And it's all free or nearly free. So it's, again, don't make it a project. Don't spend 2 hours at night trying to do a perfect video edit. Do your iPhone, take a little video clip, text it to your list. And again, with something like Call Loop, you can have all your students sorted by belt or one thing or another and send them a little video clip. And now it just keeps them engaged between the last time you saw them and the next time you saw them, and that it's useful, right? But again, this is one of the things I was talking about in the other room, is staying up with technology. And the world is changing at an ever faster pace if you don't keep track of the technology. And you've got to be careful not to spend time wasting time. If you spend 3 hours on Facebook a day liking and communicating and stuff like that, you're avoiding talking to human beings. But you got to stay aware of the technology and dribble on people in a lot of different ways, right? And especially video. I mean, video is powerful online, is powerful on smartphones. And, for a lead, if I dribble, 32 little video clips at you over the next 3 months, even if I only watch, 1 out of 5, I can feed you a lot of really interesting and valuable content that leads you back into the school. Right?
At a net cost of zero. So it's not like, you're getting charged per view.
Well, the text message costs you 4 or 5 cents to send. Yeah. But all the other stuff, I mean, and by the way, I mean, some of you weren't dealing with internet a few years ago. Some of you are too young to think this way, but it used to be a big-ass deal to put video online, because you'd be paying for hosting, and you got to have a dedicated, PC for $800 a month, and all of a sudden you ran out of too much gig, or the bandwidth was a problem, and they're billing you for the bandwidth and all this stuff. I mean, that's why it's just mind-boggling that YouTube lets you put up anything you want as long as you want. They don't have any time limits anymore, do they?
They don't specify what it is, but I know it's not more than 2. I know it's not less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
It used to be 15 minutes. It was 5 minutes for a while. Then it was 15 minutes for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they beta tested a big group of them, and I don't know, man. I've put up a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I've seen a 9-hour loop of something stupid.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't actually watch it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
How many loops did you have to watch before you figured out? Before you figured out?
Something's different.
Yeah. But see, I mean, it's just mind-boggling that you can do all this stuff for free now. Because again, I mean, we had ideas like this 5-6 years ago, and you say, well, it's not worth the $5,000 a month to do the infrastructure technology. I mean, it used to be, you were putting a server, meaning you were putting a computer with a hard drive at your office in order to feed it, and then getting a T1 line to feed the bandwidth, and and all this stuff. I mean, that goes back to when we took over NAPMA a few years ago. They were trying to do all this stuff in-house, and voicemail in-house, and voicemail server. We said, throw all that crap away. No, can't do that. We spent $50,000. No, it's junk now. Use it as a doorstep. Use it as a doorstep. Out the door. It's all in the cloud. Doesn't matter. So, but on the coupon sites, here's the biggest deal, and you should write this down, is other than setting it up, whatever they'll let you play with, go for it, because you're not paying for it, right? I mean, if it's Valpak and I'm spending $380 for every 10,000 units, and I'm going to have to experiment with 100,000 units in order to get the thing done, I just have $3,800 on the line, and it better work, right? But if Groupon will run something and you have some wild hair, you never heard of anybody doing it before, so what? See if you can talk them into it, right? And what we heard Carol say, but Groupon and Living Social have a predisposition that, like typical martial arts offers, don't work. So you may hit a barrier right off the bat of something that's designed for like kids martial art or family martial arts or traditional martial arts. They don't like it. But what you do know is that women more or less 20 to 40 are paying attention to these things. So if it's targeted for her, then it's useful. And you've got to be in her psychology, heaven help with us, for some of us, to figure out what she's going to respond to. And you also know then that demographic that responds, there's also a bunch of moms. And you've got to be real careful with your offer. See, a mom may not spend $149 for her kid without talking to dad and talking to the kid, right? But $10.99, no harm, no foul, buy the thing. If I don't use it, so what, right? So that's where I would say there's the argument for the kids to go towards the low price, bear with the fact that you're going to get more flaky traffic, but go with you can make a knee-jerk reaction you're not having to spend any time thinking about. Does that make sense? And again, you don't have much results on or much stats yet on yours. Jeff Smith had the group on this just went out. There was birthday parties and pizza party and some other introductory offer. No numbers back on it yet either. I've been trying. I keep kind of shutting him down and talking about it until we see what the numbers look like. But there is opportunity there. Again, you're not going to drive your primary business there, probably with one exception. I mean, it's what I Love Kickboxing does, right? So, I Love Kickboxing, what would you say? 90% of their traffic is,
A lot, yeah.
it's search engine optimization and Groupon and pay-per-click. So, huge percentage of their traffic, again, that's 28-year-old women doing cardio kickboxing. You've had the experience. How many kickboxing women did you drive through kickboxing for with Groupon with that deal?
How many did they sell or how many came in?
How many? Well, both.
Okay.
Over, let's say, a year.
They ran 2 campaigns. The second campaign they sold in a week. They sold over 1,200.
1,200. How many showed up?
About 600. We had to stretch them out over a very long period of time.
Everybody hear that number? Right? So if you're like into running a cardio kickboxing program, there's big numbers to be had. Now, the problem was your system fell apart, so the ratios were bad. And the other problem with that audience, and I've been watching it real closely now for a couple of years, they really have trained these women, especially in the fitness thing and the spa thing, not to like go to this place and now be a permanent customer, but there's the next offer coming down the pike, the next offer coming down the pike, next offer coming down the pike.
I even ask you when your next coupon's coming out.
Yeah, so they bounce and they go do the kickboxing, then they do the Tai Chi, and then they do the other thing. Or if they're really into kickboxing, they do this offer, then this offer, then this offer, and they bounce around. And the psychology is already built into making it difficult to convert them as a student, right? So that's the challenge.
Which obviously it's a challenge, and obviously everybody's in a different place. But there are a few people in this room who, if you think about that, is just a front end sale. We have all sorts of other stuff we can go sell that list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not appropriate for everybody. But just think about what you just said. You made 1,200 sales. You had 600 of them actually showed up. Even if 100 of them stayed, I got 500 prospects I can go sell. Right? So
a ton of stuff. Yeah, a ton of stuff.
Might not be lessons, but maybe it's spa stuff or whatever.
Yeah, and again, a contradictory thought, but internal to the school, do you want to really be trying to have the Coke machine in the corner so you're making a quarter a transaction or 50 cents a transaction, and you're trying to sell them patches over here, and you're trying to do something like that? A lot of times you end up dissipating your energy. On the other hand, if you really start thinking, this is the contradictory thought, you really start thinking in terms of leads, customer base, and what can you make use of that, there's an awful lot of stuff that those 1,200 kickboxing prospects, either you can cycle them back or you can point them at something else as an affiliate or any other combination of things. There's an awful lot of ways to monetize that.
Well, once you get the like these guys and these guys and
you just had a blinding flash.
That's probably about right, but
what was the offer amount for the 1,200? That you got 1,200?
Was that the $69 offer? Or was
That was a $25 offer whereby they got 10 classes plus a pair of kickboxing gloves.
Yeah.
Mike, from what I understand, Mike has been doing a parallel offer on those. He's been getting good results with a parallel offer where they have an option between 6 and 12 classes or something like that. Groupon
likes to have like 4 offers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In one offer.
In one offer.
So what the offer says is 6 or 12 kickboxing classes for whatever, right? And what I believe is he's getting like 75% that take the higher one. So now he's trying to ratchet it that way, right? So 8 and 15, that kind of thing. But just FYI, may be useful. But the lower price and the bigger quantities of the deal,
Well, most of the contracts I have, you're forbidden to undersell. You can't make this supposedly for some period of time. You can't make that offer or a lesser offer. the same stuff.
Right. Did everybody hear what she said? Is they're making you promise that you're not going to run a better offer in a different medium and undersell the Groupon offer, which, you know, why would we want to anyway, right? Exactly. What I mean by multiple offers is within the ad, they like to have 2 or 3 or 4 choices, right? And like with physical products, sometimes it's the 16 gig, the 32 gig, the purple one, the blue one, the white one. You know, so with physical products, sometimes it's like that. You know, with like a kickboxing, it might be, 4 sessions, 8 sessions with bag gloves, 16 sessions with t-shirt, bag glove, and it's progressively higher price, different price points for different things, or ideally, private lesson package or whatever. But they're liking to have multiple offers now, and then when they pitch the offer, they take you to a page and there's different choices, and I'm sure it's because their conversion rate's higher with more choice. But again, I mean, that's a lot of traffic. If you're trying to get an adult 32-year-old man to do MMA, that doesn't do you much good. But if you're running a cardio kickboxing class, there's an unlimited amount of traffic that can be gotten in the school. There's a trick to setting up the systems to close enough of them, right? I mean, you got overwhelmed in the past, and just couldn't get them closed. But I mean, with 600 people, you're going to get enough of them signed up to have been worthwhile, as long as you've stage managed a little bit the drinking from a fire hose.
Any number greater than 0 is enough to be justified.
Well, I would disagree with that.
Unless the traffic diminishes what you're already doing. In
Exactly. What's that? Well, he said any number greater than 0 is good because it didn't cost anything to get them in. And the counterpoint to that, which is why is, if it's why years ago we used to do a ton of lead boxes, then we stopped doing lead boxes. Why? Well, we would do 100 intros a month in a school on lead boxes and enroll 5 of them, and then we would do 20 intros a month over here and enroll 15 of them. And all of a sudden our ratio started going down over here because the staff was getting overwhelmed with the junk traffic. So we just killed off the junk traffic. And there can always be an argument for staffing up to deal with the traffic, but there's also an argument that volume can hurt quality. So you've got to make that balance. And I wish there was a simple answer. There's no right answer, right? If you're in a situation where there's not enough people coming in, open the spigot as wide as you can get it. And if you're in a situation where you have a nice steady flow and every one of them is worth $5,000, take a school like Keith. I used that example. He wouldn't want 600 women showing up to do kickboxing in the school, because every one of the kids and families he does is worth $5,000, and if they get mixed up in the flow, it's going to hurt him. He wouldn't want that. But you've got to make your decision based upon what the rest of the world looks like right then and there, right?
And I really do like the implementation too of having a separate front end for those types of leads, whenever possible. So like Eric was a good example. Eric did that with like a high volume of relatively flaky traffic coming from one specific source. So what he sold them and what their understanding was coming in kept them separate from the rest of the stuff. So he put them through a funnel that was pretty controlled, and really his mission was to try to weed out the ones that he knew wasn't going to do anything anyway, and kind of price shock a few of them, and then work with the ones that really made sense. So, and he had the space to be able to do it and everything. So I like that a lot. It's kind of like treating the after school people separate from like the just traditional martial arts people. It's worth investing a little bit of time thinking about that so that you can prevent that traffic flow from screwing up what you've got going at a higher customer value on the other side.
Well, and that having been said, we had the conversation earlier. I'd much rather drink from a fire hose any day of the week. If you can open the spigot wide enough, you can deal with the systems falling apart. What the problem is when you have a burst and then it stops, right? And now you figured out you screwed them up, but where's the next bus coming from? But if you can manage the drinking from a fire hose, you'll fix everything else. You'll hire a receptionist or recruit 5 people to come watch the front door for you, or you'll get another program director, or you'll build on a wing and back. I mean, if there's enough traffic coming through, you can solve all those problems.
Well, and the other solution is the next time you get 600, like pick up the phone and call me.
Yeah.
And I'll build the back end funnel for you, and all of them you don't sell,
Yeah, no problem.
I'll help you monetize them.
Yeah. Sell them some
We'll move them
other
into
damn
something.
thing. Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Look at my face.
Yeah. Well, there's an endless number of affiliate programs. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do, especially if it's traffic that you're not worrying about
Exactly.
it hurting your reputation to sell them other unrelated things. You want to be aware of that. I mean, it's why, pitching an MLM to all your students screws you up, because now they're coming to you as a trusted advisor for this, and you're trying to pitch them on Amway or something like that. I mean, you guys have seen that happen through the industry over and over and over again. You got to be careful about that. But something like that's a different beast. You can put them back into something else and not worry about it. So, well, good. We're at our break point. So,
Are we?
Yep, we are. Believe it or not. There was the address. If you didn't get the address before,